In over 500 reviews, there have been mediocre models, there have been bad models, there have been models where I recommended my viewers not to buy it, but never have I felt it necessary already in the opening of a review to say, do not buy this model, until now. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Boeing 747-400ERF of Cargolux. At the front of the box we have the cutout, so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of the box we have the Cargolux 50 years anniversary logo. The backside of the box is yet another example of Herpa's nonsensical and terrible box design. There is nothing positive to say about this, so let's just skip to the aircraft model itself. And here is the Boeing 747-400ERF in the retro colors of Cargolux. In the beginning of the video I gave you a stern warning not to buy this model, and I stand by this, and I will explain exactly why I'm saying this a little bit later in the video, so stay tuned to the end, because firstly we will just take a look at the model itself to see what it actually has to offer. And if we start our tour around the aircraft model with a look at the tail section, we can see on the vertical stabilizer we have the Cargolux branding. On top of the stabilizer we have the flag of Luxembourg. On the fuselage we find the aircraft type specification and the registration code, and towards the very tail of the aircraft we do also have a bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we have the writing of Cargolux, and we find the flag of the European Union. Underneath the red cheat line we then have the name of the aircraft. In this case the aircraft is named after the city of Ettelbruck. We also have the city crest and the Luxembourg Let's Make It Happen advertisement. When it comes to the detailing around the cockpit section, well, we obviously have parts of the livery with the blacked out area underneath the cockpit section, or the awesome blacked out nose cone. But we don't have much else. We have the cockpit windows and the emergency hatch for the cockpit, and underneath the nose the Cargolux branding. But that's it. Then a look at the engine nacelles reveals they have been kept in the same grey color as the belly of the aircraft. They have the silver leading edge, and the outer engines also do have the writing of Cargolux printed on. The physical detailing itself of the engines I think is actually quite alright, especially here. So here when we look into the engines from the front, where we very nicely can see the engine fan blades. Then we should move on to the wings to see what they have to offer, starting off with the top side, where we can see the different flaps, slats and spoilers have been carved out, and we have some different shades of grey for additional detailing. That's it for the top side. The underside I think also looks quite okay here. We also find the full registration code of the aircraft. My highlight, however, are the very nicely executed winglets with the Cargolux branding printed on the inner and outer side. The landing gear, rather unusual for Herpa Wings, is made entirely out of metal. In fact, currently it is only the 747 in Scale 500 from Herpa Wings that does come with metal landing gear. That in itself is actually not too bad. It also looks rather nice. But what I don't like is that it has rolling wheels, because they do tend to break over time. And then last but not least, we also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here in the back of the aircraft, here at the front of the aircraft, and on the other side the main cargo hatch in the back of the aircraft. And I wasn't quite sure if the aircraft also has the ability to open its nose in real life. Obviously the model itself does not have that. I couldn't find a single image where the nose was open, and obviously as you can see here there is nothing indicated in a print that this would be an option for the aircraft. So there we have it, the Boeing 747-400ERF in the retro livery of Cargolux from Herpa Wings in Scale 500, and what can we say about this aircraft model? Where should we start? The print quality is good. Herpa has done quite well in replicating the retro livery of Cargolux. The physical detailing is alright, but of course it comes at no surprise these days that the model arrived as a snap fit model. It is something that by now needs to be expected with Herpa. But of course none of that is the real reason why I strongly suggest not to buy this model. The model is sold as a Boeing 747-ERF. But how blind does Herpa's so-called quality control need to be for them not to recognize that this clearly is the wrong mold? Herpa has used the mold of a 747 BCF. The BCF, or Boeing Converted Freighter, has the larger upper deck as it used to be a passenger plane. However, the 747 aircraft that is being built from the beginning as a freighter doesn't need such a huge upper deck and hence doesn't have it. And it's not the case that Herpa just didn't have the correct mold. They clearly have. So let's look at the box again. Boeing 747-400ERF, it says on the front. Boeing 747-400ERF on one side and Boeing 747-400ERF on another. And true to scale aircraft model, well, that's clearly a lie. It has happened before that Herpa, by mistake, has written the wrong aircraft type on the box, but this is different. They haven't made a typo on the box. What they are telling you that you are buying is not what they actually are selling you. Mistakes happen, but to sell this model like this from Herpa without any comment, warning, or any indication of an issue is daft. The promotional materials Herpa sent out for this model also clearly showed a 747-400ERF, so this is more than just a little misleading from Herpa. Business practices like this and such a huge blunder from Herpa is the reason why Herpa is failing and why more and more are turning their backs on the Scale 500 market. The model as we see it here should never ever have been allowed onto the market. That Herpa sells the model like this is the final nail in the coffin and the ultimate proof that Herpa doesn't give a flying F about their customers nor their products. I bought this model so you don't have to. Don't waste your hard-earned money on such utter nonsense. Well, despite this awful model, I hope you have enjoyed this review, and if so, I would be very happy if you left a like, and of course if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye. Small scale and lifelike model for adult collectors, not suitable for children under 14 years. It's not suitable for people with a brain.